Yo, what's up everyone? Back for this 14-game Friday slate. We have an awesome slate for today. It was a good night yesterday, cashed on DraftKings and FanDuel in both formats. DraftKings scored a 127 and FanDuel scored a 150.7. So as you see, use the same 6 players that I gave in the video: Bundy, Wainwright, Kike, Guerrero, Baez, and no, not Baez. I gave Trout and Yelich, and then I finished it out with the other pieces. Kike might get one more at bat. I'm making this before the game's final, but gonna cash on both formats, DraftKings and FanDuel. Let's keep it going today. You can drop a like and subscribe. You can let's try to get over 150 likes. It's not, you can't even ask for 100 likes because you guys have been smashing that. Let's try to get 150 likes on the video, and you can visit the website dfsprocess.net if you want to join for today. I'll also be posting an article on the website for MLB members for this slate, like I do a couple times a week. So without further ado, let's get right into it. At pitcher, as always, we have two studs that really stick out. Sale and Bauer, I think, are kind of like on a class of their own. And then we get Walker Buehler, who's still been really good this year. I would kind of play him in GPPs, but I think you're really going to want to try to play Sale or Bauer if you're going to be paying up over $10,000. And then I would go to Buehler. No interest in Strasburg, no interest in Boyd. Not really that much interest in Marquez. Definitely no interest in Mike Leake. And then I do kind of like Aaron Nola a bit down here too. Aaron Nola and Paxton make for nice. Well, Paxton makes for a nice GPP play against the Astros. Nola makes for a nice cash play at 8,000. I'm going to go with Chris Sale, though, at 12K. Just going to pay all the way up. Sale's been pitching amazing as of late. Really out of his early season funk. A ton of strikeout upside and a ton of strikeouts in this lineup. He's just been racking up double-digit strikeouts just almost automatically as of late, as you see all the 10-plus strikeout games he's had. He's had a 14 strikeout game, a 12 strikeout game, a 17 strikeout game. He definitely has 40-point upside, even put up a 50 spot. The only pitcher in baseball this season to put up a 50 spot is Chris Sale. Just unlimited upside for him at home with a heavy favorite against a K-heavy Toronto team. I love Chris Sale here. And then I'm going to pair him with a cheap guy here just because it's hard to pay up at both pitcher spots. But the cheap guy that I like is going to be $5,400 or $5,500 for Joe Musgrove. Like the spot for him and like the price tag. Facing a righty-heavy Padres team, Musgrove has been much better against righties. The Padres don't have a high total at all. It's like a 4.2 total, I believe, which is really low for when they're facing a pitcher this cheap. At only $5,500, Musgrove hasn't been great this year, but he has been much better against righties. He's held them to just a 209 average and a 351 slugging. He's gotten a lot of trouble against lefties that are hitting 297 against him with a 510 slugging. And his strikeouts are much better against righties, 8%, 8.4% more. The home runs are down against righties. Feel like it's a good spot here for Joe Musgrove. He's also he's been a solid pitcher for most of his career. And last season as well, he was much better against righties. So I like the spot for him. I like the price tag a ton. And the Padres do strike out a ton against right-handed pitching. So Musgrove at $5,500, he has flashed like a 20-point upside a few times this year. I definitely think he's in play today if you're going to be paying up at pitcher just to have a cheap SP2. So going with those two guys leaves you with $4,000 left. At first base today, there's quite a bit of options that I like. I'm going to go kind of a guy that's kind of been a little cheaper than I would have expected, and that's Crone here at just $4,400. He's been hitting the ball really well as of late. Batting average is up to 276, 15 bombs. I love the twin stack today against Jakob Younis. Gives up a lot of power, gives up home runs, and this ballpark is pretty good for hitting, especially the Twins get a ballpark upgrade going from Target Field. Crone's been on fire this month, and he just has a really high batting average on the road just because Target Field is one of the pitcher-friendly ballparks in the league. And this ballpark is pretty good for hitting, and we know the Royals' bullpen is one of the worst in the league. This year, Crone is much better against lefties, like I said, but he still has power against righties. 9 home runs, a really good 223 ISO against righties. And he hits a bunch of fly balls too. So I think those numbers against righties should go up. As you see, the advanced numbers, he has a 41.9% fly ball rate against righties, only a 20% fly ball rate against lefties, and he hits everything hard against right-handed pitching. An amazing 44.1% hard hit rate and a 42% medium hit rate. So almost everything he's hitting is getting hit pretty hard against righties. And Junis is pretty easy to figure out because he throws two main pitches. And like I said, Crone is much better on the road. Has a solid 319 average on the road this year. At home, he's only batting 234. So all things considered, $4,400 for Crone, given the high total for the Twins. Given the fact that I think they're going to bounce back after they only scored one run yesterday. I think they're going to make up for that in this slate and in this game against Junis. So today, the Rangers are probably the best stack by far, especially for cash, facing a pitcher that gives up a ton of hits, a ton of power, a ton of fly balls, and he just throws a fastball most of the time. The Rangers do have some pretty good fastball hitters, even though they don't have their best fastball hitter in Joey Gallo, who's still injured, but I kind of like Odor here. He's at a nice price tag at just $4,000. He hasn't been great this year at all, only a 173 average, but he has a little bit of speed with 7 stolen bases. He's been hitting the ball for power a little more as of late, a couple home runs lately, and he has been more willing to steal. Just $4,000 facing Lopez, who has been really bad against lefties this year. And Odor been hitting the ball a little better. I think Odor is going to snap out of his funk because he's been a much better hitter than he's shown this year. And I think this matchup is really good. The Rangers have a 6+ total. And this year, Lopez has given up almost a 300 average to lefties. He's given up a 519 slugging percentage. And he only has a 17.6% K rate to lefties to go with a 6.56 xFIP. So I really want to target the lefties from the Rangers. They have a bunch of lefties. He's given up almost a 48% fly ball. He's given up over a 48% fly ball rate to lefties and a 36% hard hit rate. Love the spot here for a guy like Odor who definitely has power. He has over a career ISO against right-handed pitching is over 200. This year he's just been struggling at the plate. He's been injured a little bit. He's missed a couple games he missed some time with an injury. But all in all, I think Odor is too much talent to be at this price tag in this matchup. He has a 210 career ISO. And at home, he's been much better throughout his career, hitting in a tremendous ballpark to hit in. And it's supposed to be very humid here, so the ball should fly. I love Odor at just $4,000. In the outfield, going to continue with the Twins with Eddie Rosario. So he was one of the most expensive Twins. Now he's one of the cheaper Twins. We have Nelson Cruz is priced above him, as is Max Kepler. The guy I want is Eddie Rosario facing a lefty here in Junis. So much power for Rosario against right-handed pitching. Just been really, really good this year. Hitting right in the heart of the lineup. The Twins have like the second highest total on the slate. I expect them to put up some runs here against Junis and a terrible bullpen. This year, he has a 263 average against righties with 16 of his 19 home runs have come against right-handed pitching. A great 531 slugging percentage. Only a 12.2% K rate, which I love to see. And a great 268 ISO. Love the spot here for Rosario. He has a 46.5% fly ball rate. And he has a 42% hard hit rate against right-handed pitching. Think he can do some damage here against Junis, who for his career has been giving up a lot of power. I think this year he's been a little better at limiting power, but I don't think he's a very good pitcher. And he's not really an efficient pitcher. So the Twins should be able to get to the bullpen early. And Junis this year has given up a 522 slugging percentage to lefties with a 302 average. At home, he's been bad with a 568 ERA. And he has a 1.67 home run per 9. And to see the fly ball numbers, been decent at limiting fly balls, 31%. But really everything off of him gets hit pretty hard with a 46.3% hard hit rate for lefties. Not much soft contact for Junis. And I think a guy like Rosario can take him deep here. He's also at a really nice price tag at $46. And last but not least, I like Willie Calhoun from the Rangers. Just kind of focus on the Rangers and the Twins mainly for cash. I think 4,500 for Calhoun is a really good price tag. Gets a tremendous matchup against Lopez. Calhoun has been tearing the cover off the ball this year. He only has in 39 at-bats, he only has 5 strikeouts. And he has power as well. Hits for high average. And since he's come back from an injury, he hasn't really missed a beat. And he hits like 5th in the lineup. We saw struggles for Lopez against lefties, all the hard hits. And I think that a guy like Calhoun, the way he's been swinging the bat, he's done all of his damage this year against righties. It's only been 5 at-bats against lefties, so it's a really small sample size there. But batting 400 against righties, small sample size, but solid ISO, doesn't strike out. Only a 6.5% K rate against righties. Tremendous slugging percentage as well. At home, he's been pretty good too. And career-wise, much better against righties, has some power as well. So I do like Calhoun here. Just the Rangers are in a tremendous spot. It's hard not to like them. But those are the 6 players that I like. Sale, Musgrove, Crone, Odor, Calhoun, and Rosario. And I'm just going to talk about another sneaky stack I think you can look at. I think if you want to look here for value, I think the Giants offer some nice value facing Taylor Clark. They're not going to be popular, but they get a ballpark upgrade, and Clark has been really bad against lefties. So I look at guys like Joe Panic leading off at 3,400. I like Belt at 4,000. Those are the 2 guys I like. Maybe Crawford if you need a cheap shortstop. So I like the Giants as a sneaky play. The Diamondbacks, I look at the lefties facing Samardzija. Samardzija's been much worse against lefties. So guys like Peralta, Dyson, Ketel Marte has been crushing the ball. Him and Escobar. The 4-man stack looks pretty good. Here, I think you can look at a couple of Angels too against Waka. He hasn't been great this year, and the Angels lineup is looking pretty scary, so I have interest in them. Talked about this game, just kind of interest mainly in the Twins, and I'll look at guys like Merrifield and Soler to target on the Royals against Perez. Don't really have that much interest here except for the righties on the Reds against Anderson. He's much worse against righties than lefties, so I'll target the Reds righties against him. Talked about this game. I also don't mind the White Sox here, like Abreu. I don't mind an Abreu, Moncada, Jimenez, and Anderson stack. 4 guys with tremendous power facing a guy that just doesn't get many swings and misses. And Eduardo. Don't really have any interest in this game. I think both pitchers are good, Boyd and Bauer. Here, I think the Red Sox are going to get some traction here against Trent Thornton. I don't mind them. I really like to prefer to target Thornton against lefty-heavy teams, but they're going to get ownership just because of the Red Sox. Don't really have that much interest in this one either. Dallas Keuchel is making his first start. We'll see how long he goes, but he's a decent pitcher. I also don't want to target any lefties against the Nationals. I prefer to target them when they're facing righties, except only guy I would target is Brian Dozier, who hits lefties really well, and Rendon, although he's extremely expensive. The Phillies are pretty appealing here as well against Alcantara. Here I think I would play Musgrove. I think you can play both pitchers, but I'll kind of look at some Pirates against Eric Lauer. Guys like Reynolds, they're really expensive, so this would be like a GPP stack because you have like the Texas bats are priced under the Pirates bats here. So this is like for GPPs, but like Marte, Reynolds, Josh Bell look good. And here we have the Yankees are facing Brad Peacock. Yankees will always be a stack now that their lineup has so much power in it. And Peacock's been much worse against lefties, so it's a spot where I don't love the Yankee stack, although they can always go off. And that's pretty much it for the video. Those are the plays I like, as well as some of the other options I like for the other teams. Thanks for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed, and good luck today.